it's time to feed the sourdough starter. So Franny, has been sitting in the fridge for a couple weeks now. I've pulled her out a few times to make a few loaves, fed her, and then I just stick her back in the fridge when I'm done using her. This jar is a really nice jar that I got off of Amazon. It comes with a lid like this for once you feed her and you have her out of the fridge. She's been in the fridge, so I keep this lid on tight. You never want to keep your starter on your counter if you're not feeding it every day. Hear that again. Never keep your starter on your counter if you're not feeding it every day. If you're not feeding your starter, it needs to go in the refrigerator with a lid on. So we're going to take our lid off, give you a quick look here. You can see the sides, are crusty, whatever, because there has been, starter in there. So there's a few different ways you can feed your starter. Now, if you're just feeding your starter to shove it back in the fridge, you can take out a little bit or leave what you've got in there. In this case, I'm just going to leave what I've got in here. You can take some out, discard it. And then what you want is you want to do either a 50-50. So say you've got, this much starter, add that much flour and about that much water. You don't have to measure. It's not, you don't have to be super picky. A lot of it is by feel of the thickness of the starter. When I first started out, it was like, oh my God, I gotta measure this and I gotta weigh that. No, I overcomplicated it. You don't need to overcomplicate things. So keep that in mind. Starter is very forgiving. Sourdough is very forgiving. There are so many recipes out there. In fact, check out she'strippy.com because I have some sourdough recipes on there that you have to make. They are amazing. So we're gonna feed Franny. So this band here is really nice because once you have her fed, you can put this band wherever it is so then when you sit on your counter, you can see it rise. But what I do when I'm getting ready to feed it is I put the band down about where she is. You can see from on the inside, you can see where the band goes. So I always use bread flour, King Arthur bread flour. Not all purpose, not enriched, nothing added to it, just bread flour. I get mine at Costco or Sam's, I can't remember. But anyways, I usually buy the big bags. And then I just use tap water. Now we have a well, we live out in the country, we have a well. So if you have chlorinated water, you might want to use bottled water, but as long as it's room temperature or even a little bit warmer, you're fine. So I just scoop. I don't really pay attention, I just scoop. So we're gonna go maybe 3 scoops. And then I'm gonna do some water right out of my tap. And then we're gonna mixy. And like I say, I go by consistency. I usually dump in a little bit more water than probably needed so then I can just kind of come back and add a little more flour. So it's mixing, it's pretty liquidy at this point. I just kind of want to make sure I get everything incorporated. And what I'm doing is I'm gonna build up my starter this time. I've got enough bread in my freezer right now, but I'm gonna build up my starter and then I'm gonna stick it in the fridge once it's built up for a couple days, and then that would be what you would call sourdough starter discard. With my discard, I'm going to make crackers. And sourdough discard crackers are amazing. So like I said, this is a little thin at this point, so I'm just gonna go back in and just add another little scoop of flour. Do a little mixy. See how it mixes up. I don't think I have the recipe for the crackers on my blog, but if you want it, I'll shoot it over to you or I'll throw it up on my blog quick just so you can print it out or whatever. They are so good. They're literally 2 ingredients and then whatever seasonings you want, or 3 ingredients if you want to add cheese. But why buy crackers in the store when you can make your own? Flour, water, butter, cheese, and seasonings. I mean, you can't go wrong, right? You know what's in them then. I mean, literally, when you buy a box of crackers at the store, there is a list like this on the back of a box of all the ingredients. You don't need all that garbage. The sourdough crackers are amazing. Sourdough dog treats are amazing. Just sourdough is amazing. It's so good for your guts. So that is about as thick as I want to go with this. Sometimes gets a little lumpier, sometimes it's a little thinner, but we're just gonna stick with this and brush that off. I'm gonna go throw this in my sink. Another tip with sourdough also, especially if you live in the country and you have a septic. Like if you're gonna clean out a jar, clean out your bowls, don't wash all that down your drain. Keep in mind, sourdough is an active bacteria, so it will grow. So if you're washing it down your drain and you're running hot water down your drain and then, you know, you leave it, it could build up and potentially clog your pipes. So what I do is, like I just threw that in my sink, but I will wipe all the sourdough off of that spatula with a napkin or paper towel or whatever, throw that away, and then just wash the items. When I make sourdough, I wipe everything out with paper towel, throw the paper towel away, and then wash the remainders of what's, you know, the residue that's in stuff. But so here we've got the jar. I just raise this. The reason this is on here is because then I can see how much rise I get out of my sourdough. Now it might take 4 or 5 hours for it to start to rise. My house is a little cooler today because it's really crappy here right now. I am going to start a fire in the wood stove, so it will warm my house up a little bit. But by probably 8 o'clock tonight, this will probably rise this much. And I just say that because I've been doing this for over a year now, so I know how much it rises. But then overnight, it'll fall again. So tomorrow, what I will do is I will take probably half of what's in here out, put it in another jar and in my refrigerator, and then I'll feed my starter again and let it do its thing and rise. I might do that for 2 or 3 or 4 days here until I get a good amount of sourdough in a separate jar in my fridge that I can then use as the discard. So I keep 1 jar in my fridge, usually when I'm doing a lot of baking or using of the sourdough. 1 jar in my fridge, that's my active starter that I pull out to feed, and 1 jar that's just all the extras, the discard or whatever. Instead of throwing it in the garbage, don't throw your discard in the garbage. Keep it. There are so many things you can make with it. Pizza dough, dog treats, crackers, pancakes, waffles. I mean, like the list goes on and on. Don't throw it away. You're wasting it. You're wasting all the flour that you've used. You don't want to waste all that. Flour's expensive, people. Like, unless you're freaking rich, you don't want to be wasting any of this shit. So for all of my friends out there that were wondering, that's what you do. You don't have to get technical. You don't have to stress out about it. You really can't F it up. Seriously. So just chill and just enjoy the sourdough journey, because it's a lot of fun. I mean, like, it's fun making it. It's fun seeing the creations that you come up with. It's a hell of a lot of fun eating it. You can't go wrong. So if you have questions, shoot me a message. I'm happy to talk to you. But otherwise, have a great day.